A woman fighting a terminal form of bone cancer is trying to raise money to help pay the bills with a few weekend garage sales.
Well, the city of Salem says she's breaking the law and it's shutting down those sales. K2's Emily Sinovic joins us now. So what was the problem here?
Well, nobody really had any idea, she surely didn't, that there was actually a law. And Salem does have a clear law that you can only have 3 yard sales a year. Jan Klein has been selling her stuff in the backyard for a few weekends now, though. And Jan thought she'd be fine keeping the sale out of everyone's way, tucked away in the backyard. But the city told her a sale is a sale, and she was breaking the law.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle for me because I'm very independent and used to taking care of myself.
Jan Klein has run businesses, supported herself for years. And then this summer, the diagnosis.
It's a bone marrow cancer, and it eats through the bones and causes holes in the bones so that just by walking I can break a bone.
In one day, she lost her independence, her ability to work and earn an income that could help pay for all of those medical bills.
Oh, thousands, yeah.
You probably don't even want to think about it.
I haven't opened envelopes even.
It's too hard.
I can't, what am I going to do? It might be $1 million.
So she decided to sell what she owned. And that sale was bringing in several $100s each weekend until one neighbor complained and she got a visit from the city.
He goes, I'm sorry, rules are rules.
Just like that.
Just like that. That was pretty much it.
Jan says she understands the city is trying to prevent nuisances in neighborhoods, but she doesn't think she's causing much trouble.
We make such an effort of making it back here so that it's not goobering up the neighborhood. It's not like a garage sale all laid out day after day after day.
She isn't looking for special treatment, but Jan says maybe a little understanding.
I just hope nobody else has to go through this kind of thing. I hope that no one else has to give their life away for nickels and dimes and then be told they can't even do that. So I hope nobody else has to do this ever.
So we did talk to the city of Salem. The Community Development Department told me there is a reason for the law. In the past, some people have set up what ended up being a permanent flea market type sale on their property. But after hearing more about Jan's situation, they told me they are going to take a second look at it, see if they can explore some options, see if there's any flexibility, or if she can make any adjustments to the way her sale's set up so that it does fall within the law.
Where are the green jobs and green projects the city of Seattle promised after winning a coveted $20 million federal grant? To date, only 14 people have been hired and even fewer projects completed. Como 4 problem solver Michelle Esteban asks why.
For us, it was a disappointment.
Michael Wu remembers Earth Day Eve 2010 well. Seattle won a $20 million federal grant for energy efficiency projects. The mayor said the money would create 2,000 weatherization jobs, and 2,000 homes would be weatherized. That was more than a year ago.
How many of those folks have gone to work in this sector? Not many.
Michael Wu's nonprofit Got Green works with the city to train workers like Ymir Sek.
All right, I'm good to go.
But Sek is one of only 14 people hired so far, and only 3 homes have been weatherized.
To me, it seems mythical.
Wu is critical of the city. He says it oversold the rewards of the project.
When I heard that 2,000 number, I said, oh, we're in trouble. And I'm a partner with the city.
So to paraphrase Mark Twain, I think news of our bust is a little premature.
Joshua Curtis is in charge of dispersing the $20 million and says there's good reason the city is nowhere near its goal.
You can do it quick, or you can do it right. And so we really focus on doing it right.
Curtis insists setting up this kind of program, building partnerships, hiring staff, and marketing is time-consuming. It took nearly a year. He says the rebates and financing for homeowners willing to weatherize their homes just opened in April. He says only 3 homes are completed, but 400 homes are in the queue.
In 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, let's have the conversation.
You can count on it. The city will have to act fast to reach its goal. Timing is running out, and so will the money in 2013. Michelle Esteban, Como 4 News.
Yeah, Jerry, this happened last week in just an exceptionally nice, quiet neighborhood in Lambertville. Detectives hope that anyone with information will come forward and help solve this case.
You can see where the bullet went just like this here. And
I was pretty fortunate.
John King is making an understatement. After being awakened by a security light, he stepped out of his front door and saw a silhouetted figure vandalizing his car. He yelled, the man fired a shot, and then disappeared into the night.
I never expected that, and pow, and then that's when I actually stumbled forward a little bit, and then I think that's when I caught my toe right here and fell with both my knees and crawled inside here.
Two things he didn't realize. One, that he'd been shot, and two, why. Both became obvious pretty quickly.
It wasn't until I got inside the paramedics' vehicle, and then he said, "You've been shot," and then they looked, and I had a bullet hole that went in one part of my t-shirt out the back.
The why of it all comes from the message written on the side of the truck, Scab. John is the 40-year owner of the largest open shop electrical contractor in the area. He says he has a training center to bring young people into the trades, pays well, offers benefits and retirement. And the last thing he wants to do in the tremendously charged political environment right now is escalate the situation in any way. There's plenty of room for people on both sides, the union-non-union argument, to legitimately debate, but taking a shot at someone on either side is well beyond the pale.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Thursday, August 18th, 2011. I'm Darko. My website is ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. You can visit me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. It's ddarko2012, and on Facebook. I have a Global Government News group. You can check all those links along with all the headlines and the links for those articles that I'm going to cover here in the order that they're covered in YouTube's video description, so check that out. I have this poll, I'll leave it up here just for this video, but I'll probably put a new one in here in the next couple of videos. Do you support a Libyan-style intervention in Syria by Western forces? And it's not showing up right now, but hopefully it is for your computer. But I do know that the majority of people said that they do not support a Libyan-style intervention in Syria by Western forces. And I posted this, I think it was a week ago, and now you can see how the rhetoric has escalated. So, and we'll get into that news later. For new listeners, I usually go through the economy at first, and then in the second video go on the war on terror, and basically clamping down on freedom and that. Then in the third video, I go into basically any other news that I have left, which includes Big Brother surveillance and eugenics. So check that out. Down here, all at the bottom, you can click on this button for network blogs, and it'll take you to my group as well there on Facebook. So I'm ready to start. Beaten down Wall Street slam by recession fears. That's right. It says here that NASDAQ ended more than 5% lower, the S&P 500 more than 4%, and the blue chip Dow off more than 3%, so it was pretty crazy. It says rising fears of another recession hammered U.S. stocks on Thursday, sending major averages sharply lower in return to the extreme fluctuations investors endured a week ago. Then we have stocks plunge across Europe, led by banks. Stock markets across Europe were slammed Thursday, ending the day with sharp losses as bank shares led the way, lower on fears about global growth and Eurozone debt crisis. You can go in there and check that out, but it says the Stocks Europe 600 index fell almost 5%. And it says the biggest percentage fall since March of 2009, so you can go in there and check that out. Chinese stocks closed down on Thursday as well. It said that they were down, and the benchmark Shanghai Composite was down 1.61% or 41 points to close at 2,559. Then Goldman Sachs owns new stock market in Canada. That's right, Goldman Sachs Group is creating yet another stock market in Canada, adding to the competition for TMX Group's exchanges. Goldman said on Thursday will bring its Sigma system to Canada. So it says here that the Sigma market in Canada will be called the so-called dark pool that will let buyers and sellers anonymously trade stocks that are listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Dollar yen up with U.S. recession fears at the forefront. So it goes on here. It says the dollar and Japanese yen rose broadly on Thursday as investors stampeded into safe haven currencies on signs of weakening U.S. economy and concerns over European banks' exposure to Eurozone debt, which I'll cover here shortly. Canadian currency weakens as slowdown concerns saps equities and commodities, and the Chinese yuan or renminbi strengthens to 6.39 against the U.S. dollar. China to float $30 billion yuan in 10-year Treasury bonds on Thursday. So the Chinese Ministry of Finance said Wednesday that it will sell $30 billion yuan, or 4.6 billion US dollars in 10-year book entry Treasury bonds starting on Thursday. So they keep doing that, and I'm going to keep covering it. Also, you have Venezuela, which I'm about to cover too, calling in their gold reserves and that. It says here, rate on 30-year mortgage falls to lowest on record. And it says here that since 1971, average rates on 30-year fixed mortgage falls to 4.15%. Lowest on records dating to 1971. When what? Oh, right, it was right on the time when Nixon took us off the gold standard, and our dollar has been up and down and basically volatile ever since. Our dollar, our currency, has lost its value significantly since then. It says here, Moody's S&P mortgage rating faces probes. So the Justice Department is probing Moody's Investor Service and S&P's over ratings of mortgage-backed securities, according to 3 former employees who said they were interviewed by investigators. It says here, SEC may have destroyed crucial probe data. So a U.S. senator said Wednesday that the Securities and Exchange Commission have destroyed thousands of documents related to probes into possible violations by major banks and hedge funds. And then moving on to commodities like I usually do, they've ticked up now. And it says here, Brent crude is now at $106. It was down about $4. And gas oil futures down $33. So that's a lot. Heating oil futures down almost $9. And moving on to agriculture, we have some big slides, $54 for cocoa. And there was a thing in South America where they were ending eradication of cocoa. So I don't know if that's something to do with it, but corn is down $12, wheat down 27 and 18, and then soy down 5. Moving down to metals, we have copper down almost $7 at $398.60. Gold at $1,822, breaking records, and it's at $28.20. That's how much it was up today. And silver just past the $40 mark, up 33 cents. Gold hits latest record high near 1830. Gold racks up latest record high of 1830 an ounce as fears of recession sink stocks. So people are looking for safe havens. U.S. consumer prices rise more than forecast. And it says here the cost of living in the U.S. climbed more than forecasted in July, which could make it harder for the Fed chairman to convince colleagues to immediately act to spur growth. In other words, start printing money, buying treasury bonds. J.M. Smucker sees price pressure and talking about especially in coffee. And then chicken price rises for consumers. U.S. steps in to help farmers. Right. I'm going to help you with your Food Modernization Act. That's going to help you. Kenya's sugar shortage to persist. And it says U.S. auto sales estimates cut on weakness. Chavez preparing government takeover of Venezuela's gold mining industry. And weekly U.S. jobless claims hit 408,000. Vislac food stamps helped job growth over last 17 months. So that's what he said. It was this economic stimulus that has created jobs, just like the green jobs. Fed's Dudley sees growth rebounding this year, quite low, recession risk. And then we have Morgan Stanley cuts global growth forecast with U.S. close to recession. American satisfaction with national conditions drops sharply. Consumers most negative on U.S. economy since recession, and figures rise, but retail sales struggle. Credit card usage up and delinquencies down, so people are paying down their debt on their cards. 20 signs that the world could be headed for an economic apocalypse in 2012. Go in there and check that out. These are always good, but I hardly have time to go through them all. Survey, child poverty increased in 38 states from 2000 to 2009, and new enterprise zones announced around England. Government has announced locations for new enterprise zones in England to try to boost economic growth. So maybe like they're like little trading blocks, as good communists would have it. French, German leaders urge elected Eurozone. The leaders said Wednesday that they want the heads of the Eurozone countries to elect the president of a new economic government who would direct regular summits to respond to the continent's financial crisis. See, there's always an impending doom. There's always this constant crisis, so that they can create these super committees like they did a super Congress in the United States, and they never go away. And now you have a financial and a political dictatorship. Sarkozy calls for tax on financial transactions to fund global development, to fund global government. Let's just say that. Let's just cut the shit. U.S. government loaning $500 million for solar power projects in India. And it says Obama tells farmers no need to worry about government overregulation of agriculture. When an Illinois farmer told Obama in a town hall meeting yesterday he was concerned about upcoming regulations regarding the Food Safety Modernization Act and would rather be farming than filling out forms and permits, Obama had choice words to offer and replied, "Don't always believe what you hear." Former Goldman Sachs executive who changed name now trying to ease bank regulation. And then finishing up here, Mercedes targeted as luxury cars burned in German globalization protests. So this is class warfare. This is all by design. Thank you for joining me, everybody. This is GGN. I'm Darko.